It could be time for a story. Last time I wrote at night I was in a foul mood, but not today. Just came in from a long walk in the park, and the street too, the usual. And as usual I photographed dogs and flowers, trees, and a smattering of architecture. If there's a small garden statue, I'll get that too, with whatever's around it, usually soil, leaves, branches. Today was no different, except for the light. It rained today, plus I didn't get out until 5:30. Some places had a ray of sun to perk things up, but others not. Who knows how the images will edit? As usual, every dog parent was happy to let me photograph their dog, and they were so friendly about it too. Could be the pandemic bringing it out, or people are just genuinely nice around here. Before now, I didn't spend a lot of time walking on Convent and in the park, but as I learned, it's underrated up here, positively a place to recreate and play. I always have to push myself out the door to go on a walk, no matter how nice the day, because going out alone seems like no fun, until I get out there. As usual, I can go anywhere. Once I'm outside, the park is a fantasy. There are birds and other wild animals. I just can't see them. A robin and mockingbird fleet typically by. Forget about getting a picture. I wonder what other animals hide within the trees, brush, or underfoot. I don't mean the bug that got on me. Not even sure what I swatted away. Something that buzzed. Hopefully not a bee. I like bees and wouldn't want to swat one. Also, it would be a stupid thing to do. But back in the forest, I'd like to know what's hidden there. Even in New York City, there could be something unexpected, like who knows what. Maybe a feral cat. Or one of those cats that looks like a regular cat, but it's actually a wild animal and can never be tamed. Feral cats are like that too after 6 weeks old. But they can be nice too. Boris was born from a feral mother who climbed the back fire escape 5 flights to my loft when I lived on the Bowery. The deck overlooked a courtyard filled with cats, and the little deck was in the treetops. Boris stayed with me, growing up with my dwarf rabbit Basha and African gray parrot Ashley. They were a trip together. Boris loved everyone, animals, people, everyone there was. Ashley wanted to kill everyone, except for Boris and Basha. She especially liked Basha due to helping herself to Basha's rabbit food, which Basha didn't mind at all. What would a tiny little bunny do against a sharp beak and talons anyway? I'm glad they got along. When I'd come home at night, it was like Animal Farm. All of them in the crib together, plotting and planning, especially Ashley, who peered at me deeply. She was the great destructor. The first thing she did when I got her, that first night, was to climb onto my plaster sculpture and rip it apart piece by piece. I yelled from my bed, "Ashley, get off of there and go back to your cage." As she sidestepped the vertical sculpture to the floor and lumbered to her cage, she let out a resounding "Aha!" a parrot's version of a laugh. Then I knew she was a lot smarter than she looked. She was my first, and may I say last, parrot. A gremlin in my house. The night my 79 stairs were covered in cement, I walked up them anyway, leaving stiletto holes as evidence but willing to take the rap. Everyone knew it was me. But it had been a long day, and what could I do? One has to get to bed. I thought cement shoes would be the worst thing I'd encounter for the night, until I entered my bedroom and saw my bed, with Ashley on top of the wall, just waiting to see how I'd react. A chunk of the wall had been ripped out, my bed caked in a sea of lumps and dust. Ashley dropped her head sideways to look down at me, as if to say, "What do you think about that?" This was the last straw. The next day I exiled her to the yoga studio, where they were so happy to have her, until they became familiar.